Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's unseen video. We got loads to talk about, of course. We're going to start with the Wyatt 6. This was a big talking point coming out of Raw. Obviously, we spoke about Samantha earlier. We will obviously cover Samantha in this video as well, though, because lots of developments there. But Wyatt 6, here we've got Final Testament in the ring. Obviously, we knew it was going to go this way, but they were beaten down on R-Truth after the match, and there is Gacy, there is Nikki, there is Dexter, there is Rowan surrounding the ring, and honestly, just really fun, very short, little beat down afterwards, and yeah, I think it's really interesting, the fact that they went after Final Testament, leaving Miz and Uncle Howdy, because obviously there's a lot of history there, and it does seem like Uncle Howdy is really upset with The Miz, like more upset with The Miz than I think he needs to be, and so it does sort of imply there's a lot of baggage that comes with this relationship, and we know about the Miztourage, we know there's a history there, so again we get a bit of confirmation here. Just like Howdy said, look, early signs look like Howdy wants Miz as his prime target, not Karrion Kross. And that is true. Joe Gacy tweeted out 22 minutes ago, home. So I don't know if that means in the ring or in front of the fans or at the Wells Fargo, I'm not sure, but Joe Gacy tweeting out just 20 odd minutes ago. So yeah, the Miz is the person that ended up being the focus of Uncle Howdy. This hair is quite interesting. It's not the full-on dreads, but it's not the really free-flowing hair that we've seen. It's kind of in between, which I don't mind. I much prefer the dreads. Like, the dreads is my favorite look. Then I would say this. Then I would say the completely free-flowing hair. I don't mind this, though, if this is what he's going to use going forward whenever he gets physical in the ring. I feel like the hair, people have said, like, it flows better, it looks a bit better as you're competing, as you're swinging it around, right? I think that might be why it's not the thick, heavy dreads. But yeah, this was Howdy sneaking up on Miz. And obviously Miz would end up being moved out the way by Paul Ellering. That feels like a big moment, because Paul Ellering sacrificing himself for The Miz. I've got to think that's going to be very well received by The Miz. So here, look, Wyatt 6 saying full circle. There's the Fiend with a mandible claw on a victim. I can't quite make out who that is. Here we've got Howdy with the mandible claw on Paul Ellering. As we said, Paul Ellering taking that bullet for The Miz. So Uncle Howdy saying, a beautiful massacre. This is the #1 fan account of Uncle Howdy, not actually Uncle Howdy. A beautiful massacre. You sacrificed yourself for the week. How pathetic of you. So there we go. There he ends up paying the price. So yeah, really good, really interesting. There you are. It's just great to see Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt 6 back on TV. With that being said, we do have a little update. We can see The Miz is being spoken to right now on Raw Talk by the Final Testament. There seems to be that union that's getting a little bit closer together. It's literally live as I'm recording this right now. So Miz and Final Testament look like they're slowly getting more and more onto the same page. Right, let's have a look at WWE. I probably should have done Samantha first, actually, but we'll do WWE. Right, Dave, thank you. Kevin Nash says that Triple H would have left WWE if Vince McMahon didn't step down. That's big. Never heard, seriously, never heard that before. So it'd be interesting to hear more of that quote, to be honest. PQM, shout out to you. Jey Uso said he'd like to reunite with his brother Jimmy to take on Motor City Machine Guns, Lucha Bros, provided they walk through the WWE door. I think this was from a few weeks ago. And the comments were made before Motor City Machine Guns arrived. Obviously, we know it doesn't look like Lucha Bros are coming in now. I think he was asked, would you like to compete against them? And his answer was, yes, with my brother. Because when I'm with my brother, we're the greatest tag team. So that's interesting. I think he was talking more as his true self rather than his character. But interesting. Yeah, look at this. Look at this logo as well. WWE have officially announced NXT will be live on Wednesday, November 6th. I think this is because of the election. So Wednesday, November 6th at the arena, the former ECW arena, right? In Philadelphia. That show, I'm sure, is going to be stacked. And this logo is really fun as a one-off. So, Dave, thank you. Dave again, look, PW Insider saying there was talk at the Performance Center today. Undertaker will be in Orlando and at the Performance Center next week, possibly on the 30th of October episode. So not this week, but next week. Apparently Undertaker is around. No confirmation that he is going to be on the show, but he is going to be at the Performance Center. He is in Orlando. He is in that area. Like, for him to appear on the show is not too much of a reach, but I don't know that he's going to. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that news develops. Again, not tomorrow, next week's NXT. Rhea Ripley said, F this wall. I believe this is where she got attacked by Liv and she ended up having to vacate the Women's Championship. I'm sure that was this arena. So here is Rhea Ripley saying, F this wall. The wall that caused the damage, broke up her, wow, it broke up everything, didn't it, while she was away. Obviously, Liv took her championship. Liv took Judgment Day away. Liv took Dominic away. Like, and it is all this wall's, for a little bit of Liv's fault, but more this wall. So, F this wall, says Rhea Ripley. We spoke about this on the stream. This is the latest. There are zero discussions between WWE and Brock Lesnar currently. He remains off the board, and any mentions are just to accentuate the current stories, nothing more. Brock's coming in, Brock's not coming in, Brock's coming in, Brock's not coming in, Brock's coming in, Brock's not coming in. Next week, he'll be on his way back. Week after that, there are no plans. This is just how the wrestling news world goes, right? So it is what it is. This is the truth, in my opinion, is in a legal situation. We don't need to go through it again. Until that legal situation changes, I don't see any way that he comes back. So I do believe this. I do believe this is the current situation. Tiffany said, I miss you to Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley kind of responded with like a weird kind of gif. And Tiffany was like, oh, she misses me. So I don't know what that was. I don't know what this little social media interaction was all about. But Tiffany just coming out the blue saying to Rhea that she misses her following last week's Raw, of course. So Larry, thank you. Here we go. Look at this. It was announced, obviously, during the show that Lilian Garcia is back. Lilian Garcia is back. I'm not 100% that this is permanent. I believe it is. Everything is sort of telling me that this is permanent and that she is back and she is the long-term replacement for Samantha. She did make mistakes. We're going to get to them. But, yeah, Lilian back, and there is the footage, which I believe was just before Raw went on air, that they showed Lilian making her way down to the ring. A lot of these people might not have even heard about Samantha leaving, because obviously that dropped quite close to the beginning of Raw. So, a little botch by Lilian, right? So, during, I would play it, but we'd get hit by copyright strike. She said the number one containers rather than the number one contenders. Hannah created this graphic. The number one containers. Matthew says, lol. Yeah, very good. Very good. Again, she made some mistakes, right? But you've got to remember, she's been out the game for so long. right? Normally you get called up from NXT, so you're in the groove. You might have nerves, but you've been doing it, right? You've been doing the job. You're just doing it on a bit of a bigger stage. She's been out the game for years and years, right? For her to come back and have nerves and to try and pick it up and just like do it, you know, faultless, that's a big ask. You know what you're getting with Lillian. She's a great ring announcer. She did a great job. She's well known to wrestling fans. You know, years and years and years and years of experience on the main roster. She will be absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. But yeah, a couple of little slip-ups. This probably being the worst one. The other ones, she announced, apparently, Michael said she announced Dirty Dom, but Dirty Dom wasn't out there. I don't know if this was Liv, Raquel, or if this was a different part, but apparently Dirty Dom was announced and Dirty Dom wasn't there. That's a weird mistake. That would probably suggest she's got a card that says that he is going to be part of that segment. Perhaps they changed it and they didn't change her card. Lillian must have some really bad cue cards because she's just announced Whackin' Wild and he's not there either. Then we had First Containers and Dirty Dom. So, yeah, I think there was a bit of an issue with her cards maybe. But, I don't know. It is what it is. People are obviously mourning the loss of Samantha. So, I don't think Lillian's going to get the kind of love that she deserves this week. But going forward, she will. I've no doubt. She's a great talent. Yeah, apparently next week, Dirty Dom is going to face a former champion. If he can beat that former world champion, then he will potentially get a shot at Gunther. Michael said, my prediction is that the former world heavyweight champion that Dirty Dom has to beat is going to be Damian Priest, which I think is a really interesting prediction. Dave said, I think that it's going to be Finn Balor. Imagine that. Imagine Adam Pearce makes the two Judgment Day members go up against each other. I don't know. I like the Damian Priest shout. I think that's probably the most realistic, but having Dom be forced to have a match against Finn, that would be kind of fun as well. WWE Ethan, shout out to you. Here's Fade, who said WWE are showing the history of the IC title. It was a nice touch. I agree. This was really good. This was really good. So this is just active superstars, which is really clever, rather than just focusing on a load of people that, you know, a lot of people won't have heard of. Just looking at active superstars, Miz with 8 IC title reigns, Sammy with 4, Kofi with 4, Seth with 2, Finn with 2, Ray with 2. And just pointing out that if Braun wins, he will join this group of 2-time IC title holders, right, in the active roster. So that's a great little stat to pop up. I think that's definitely a way forwards. Sam, shout out to you. So the dark match that was announced tonight apparently is Jacob against Cody. So that is the dark match that's going on right now after Raw. Of course, the big news is that Jey loses the IC title. That means his reign only lasted 28 days. This has upset people. You can understand that. But I think the truth as well is it does make sense in that he got that title. People are disappointed. It's better to get out with people wanting more, isn't it? So, you know, people are disappointed, but it frees him up now to do Bloodline, which is where, you know, I think it was always heading that way. And I don't think he stays with Bloodline very long. I could see him coming back. I don't think we're going to just completely throw out the window all the work we've done with Jey. You know, he's super over, super popular, yeet, the merch. He's really, really over. I don't think we just abandon that and just put him back in a faction or put him back in a tag team. I think he goes, he helps Bloodline, and then I think he comes back. And I think, you know, there could be a world championship in his future. So disappointing. Lots of people will be disappointed. But we do have a new IC champion. Look at this. Julian said, this is Rikishi watching the end of Raw. You know Rikishi is going to be absolutely flipping livid. So very, very true. Right, we obviously read through this during our Samantha video earlier. Chelsea said, I will miss seeing your smiling face at work. I am so lucky to have shared the ring with you, and even more lucky to have been a part of your iconic ring announcements. Ricochet with a couple of kiss emojis. Logan said, this news upsets me. Fightful sources spoke to WWE AEW, say they'd be shocked if Samantha isn't made an offer to join AEW. Ricochet did come out and say she's not joining AEW, guys, right? Because Ricochet's been getting a bit of heat, right? People have been going off on Ricochet, but yeah, they'll make an offer. I don't think she'll accept it. I don't think she's going there personally. I said earlier, I think she's going off to be a singer. She's spoken about how if you're a fan, she's not going to let you down and all this kind of stuff. If you're a fan of her, like, stay tuned. So she's got a project in the works is my vibe, and knowing how much she loves singing, I think she's going to go off to do that. WrestleVote said, I'm told the news of Samantha Irvin leaving the company has genuinely shocked a lot of people backstage at Raw this afternoon. Natalya said, it was always a pleasure working with you, but most importantly, being your friend. I'm proud of all you've accomplished, and I'm very excited for you to keep shining your bright, beautiful light to the world. Ricochet said, haha, she's not coming to AEW. You can all rest easy. Laughing face emoji. Michael Buffer says, no, heartbroken. My wife and I am so sorry to hear this, as I'm sure millions of other WWE fans are. Samantha is brilliant and super professional as an announcer, plus her musical talent as a singer and a flautist are amazing. All the best moving forward with her career. And he says perhaps we'll see her in, I think, MMA or something like that. So Michael Buffer, I mean, wow, amazing. I didn't put much stock in this, but I gotta tell you, Sportskeeda picked up on this and have kind of put an article out. So I would say take this with a pinch of salt, because I don't know how trustworthy this is. But listen, I'm just presenting it to you, okay? So I was told that it was due to schedules not working with her relationship with Ricochet, but the departure was very amicable on both sides. Irvin is not currently at Raw. The move to AEW is expected, but not confirmed. So I would take it with a pinch of salt. I do not know how much faith you can put into this. The only thing I would tell you is that Ricochet here is saying she's not going to AEW. The vibe I got from her letter was that she was working on a new project. I don't think that project is AEW, but I could be wrong. I think they will put an offer in for her, and she may have a decision to make. So we're gonna have to wait and see. So Jazza, thank you, my friends. I wasn't sold on that Samantha news or that last post, but Sportskeeda, looking at it, definitely changed my mind. Yeah, we've got some stuff in here, right? Remembering the time that AJ got caught on the top rope. Now, I do remember this, right? So AJ got caught on the top rope. What I didn't know is that he was still there. This is back in 2016, did someone say? He was still there during the dart match, look. There's AJ, look, and Cena was going against the ropes. I remember this happening during SmackDown. I remember, look, I never saw this footage, though, of AJ still being on that top rope during the dart match. I've never seen this before. And look at all these superstars coming out. So we've had Cena come out, we've had Roman come out, we've had Seth, look, come out. And they're all interacting with that top rope, making it as painful as possible for AJ. So, brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, this is cool. Tea Time Danger said, Braun and his brother Scott. Scott has made it to the Florida State Games. He's going to represent Seminole County for powerlifting in the Special Olympics. Isn't that amazing? Currently deadlifting 170 pounds. I didn't even know that Braun had a brother, but he does. And that's his brother, and he's going to be in the Special Olympics in powerlifting, so it runs in the family. So, Tea Time Danger, thank you. Very, very cool. Tifo and Daniel, thank you. So this is 13 minutes long. We're only going to just have a brief look at it. CM Punk in FCW, apparently 13 years ago, he said, "This is my day off," right? And he comes down and ends up getting into it with Jon Moxley, right, who was in FCW at the time. And look at this, but they end up having a match. This is footage of Jon Moxley, CM Punk, all the way down in Florida Championship Wrestling. This is WWE's developmental system before NXT. NXT would take over not too long after this, actually. I think it was like 2012. But yeah, look at this. I've never seen this either. I get the feeling, because of how long this is, this could be like a YouTube video. So I think you could probably find it somewhere if you wanted to watch the whole match. But that's crazy. Jon Moxley against CM Punk from 13 years ago in WWE's developmental system. So Daniel, thank you. I've not seen this. This is obviously another of Kayden's TikToks. I do enjoy these. Her with Damien.
Okay, well maybe she won't see me. Somebody help me! Brenda! Oh, shit! She stole me!
I don't know what this is.
Thank you, okay, now let that shit just mutilate her white ass and bitch, please die! Oh my God, Brenda! We're gonna die! It would have just been you if you would have just shut the fuck up!
I was so not quite feeling it until the very end with the shut the up bit. I don't know why that did get me at the end, actually. Hey, listen, I took this as a joke, but this is really interesting. Carlito, when he walked past Io and Kyrie, he said, "I gotta learn Chinese." You know, like how R-Truth gets confused and mixes things up, right? Carlito has listened and thought they're Chinese, right? I didn't take it as anything other than when R-Truth gets confused. I took it that way. That was it, right? But this is really interesting because DS Ring the Bell, right, who's got a YouTube channel, I think has actually like done stuff with WWE before, and does a lot of interviews with WWE superstars. Offers obviously a different perspective here, another perspective. As a Korean living in America, I've personally been told to go back to China multiple times. It's not funny. It's rude. It's ignorant. It's insensitive. There's no reason to put the international talents in this situation for a joke, which is interesting, isn't it? I mean, like, I would say what the vibe I'm getting here is that DS Ring the Bell has faced a lot of like racism, a lot of hostility, you know, go back to China in a very negative context, right? This was a different context. This wasn't go back to China. This was like someone getting confused as to where these people are. You could make the argument Carlito really should know, what with being an active superstar, where his co-workers are from, right? But I mean, I certainly don't think there's any malice in this. I think that this is just an R-Truth situation where you get confused. But when you get confused and you bring in, as you said, like identity, national identities, you know, it's one thing to get confused over, you know, am I in the Judgment Day or not? You know, something like that. Or get confused over, is this a ladder match? No, it's the Royal Rumble, right? It's one thing for that to have confusion. It is another thing when it comes to people's identity. And certainly if it's not your own identity, it's someone else's identity. So I totally get the point that's being made here. I actually didn't consider it at the time. And I think this is one that might spark a bit of conversation. But I get it. I understand. I understand that. I mean, I don't believe that this is obviously racially motivated and is trying to belittle this talent. I don't believe that for a second. But equally, I do understand where this comment comes from. So interesting. Very interesting. I thought you might find that interesting. So I think we've only got other. This was a powerful image. Look, Sami putting out someone with some flowers on a table and a hot drink whilst, you know, look at the view. I mean, I'm guessing this is like, you know, what's going on in Gaza and with Israel and Palestine and everything. So a very powerful image that has been sent out there by Sami. Yeah, we've got this as well. Word of Wrestling, shout out to you. So here, look, we've got Shotzi and Scarlett back with their haunted YouTube show. Dirty Dom is on it, and he is very good, actually. So this is back, and when does it hit? Chamber of Horrors back Thursday, October 24th. And then this is our last one. So The Rock reached out to Dana to get Dana White's number after The Rock reached out to Dana to get Donald Trump's number, after Trump was shot at the rally, right? What I wanted to focus on wasn't so much that. I saw this interview, politics aside, right? And I really mean that, politics aside, Donald Trump comes across really well. I thought it was a great interview. He was asking more questions than Undertaker. He was like, what happens with this? What happens? He was talking like a fan. He was like, you know, have you ever really got into it with someone? Like, you know, WrestleMania that I did, I think it was one of the biggest ever. And Undertaker was like, it was. Battle of the Billionaires. He mentions Haystacks Calhoun, a real blast from the past. A real name from the olden days. I mean, Donald Trump is a genuine wrestling fan. I really appreciate that about him. He's a big MMA, UFC fan as well. Again, politics aside, this has got nothing to do with politics, right? Not for me, but I just thought this was a really good little conversation, and he came across really, really well in it. So that is up now on Undertaker's channel. And are there any thanks? I think we did manage to box everything off. So that is it. That is today's Unseen. I'm sure there's going to be loads of fallout from Raw. Obviously, I'll scoop that up and try and get it in an Unseen for you tomorrow. But I wanted to get this out as quickly as possible. And I hope you enjoyed it. So thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate the support. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.